The hook. So, you are tracking your pregnancy week by week, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret about week 2 that changes everything. What if I told you that in week 2 of your pregnancy, you aren't actually pregnant yet? Before you ever see a positive test, your body is doing this incredibly complex, powerful dance that is the real start of your journey. We are about to pull back the curtain on what's really happening in the second week, and I promise, it's a total game changer. The problem, the myth we've all heard that pregnancy is a 40-week marathon. And from the moment we get that positive test, we start counting. But this is where things get a little weird. Medically, your pregnancy is dated from the first day of your last menstrual period, LMP. This means that during week 1 and, yes, week 2, you're not technically pregnant. It sounds strange, I know, but it's the most reliable starting point for doctors since pinpointing the exact moment of conception is nearly impossible. So while you might be anxiously waiting, your body is in a critical prep mode, and the main event of week 2 is something else entirely. The aha moment, the solution, the truth. So what's really going on in week 2? Here's the secret. Your body is preparing for ovulation. That is the true main event. Deep inside, a sophisticated hormonal concert is kicking off. Your brain releases a key hormone called follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH. FSH basically tells your ovaries it's time to get a group of eggs ready, with each one chilling out in its own little fluid-filled sac called a follicle. As these follicles grow, they start pumping out more and more estrogen. Think of estrogen as the ultimate project manager. It tells your uterine lining to get thick, plush, and full of nutrients. This creates a cozy, welcoming cushion for a fertilized egg to hopefully snuggle into in a week or so. Then, just as one egg takes the lead and becomes the dominant one, another hormone called luteinizing hormone, LH, suddenly surges. This LH surge is the final go signal. It triggers that mature egg to burst from its follicle and leave the ovary. That's the moment we call ovulation, and for most women with a 28-day cycle, it happens right around the end of week 2. This is your peak fertile window. What this means for you: so, when you are Googling week 2 pregnancy symptoms, what you're likely feeling are actually signs of ovulation. It's your body's way of shouting that it's go time. Of course, many women don't feel a single thing, and that is completely normal. But if you are noticing symptoms, they're probably tied to this big hormonal shift. You might notice your cervical mucus becomes clear, slippery, and stretchy, a lot like raw egg whites. This is a fantastic fertility sign because this fluid helps sperm on their journey to the egg. Some women feel a tiny twinge or a dull ache in their lower belly, sometimes just on one side. It's called Mittelschmerz, which is just German for middle pain, and it could be the actual sensation of the egg being released. Other subtle signs can include tender breasts, a higher sex drive, and even a heightened sense of smell. Your basal body temperature, your body's lowest resting temperature, also takes a slight jump right after ovulation occurs. Tracking these signs can be incredibly empowering. It turns that confusing, 2-week wait into a proactive window of opportunity. Empowerment and call to action. Understanding that week 2 is really about ovulation, not a baby, flips the whole script. It shifts the focus from anxiously symptom spotting for a pregnancy that hasn't happened yet and puts the power right back into your hands. You now know the secret language your body is speaking during this crucial time. Knowing your cycle is one of the best first steps toward a healthy and informed pregnancy. Did you have an aha moment watching this? I'd love to hear about it. Share your own experiences with tracking ovulation or any surprises you learned about your own cycle in the comments below. Your story could really help someone else on their journey. And if you want to keep decoding what's really going on in your body week by week, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. The outro: trying to figure out early pregnancy can feel like a maze of questions and confusing symptoms. But now, you're in on the secret of week 2. You're not just waiting around, your body is actively and brilliantly getting ready. Join me for our next video, where we'll get into what happens in week 3, when conception, the moment the egg and sperm finally meet, can actually happen. See you then.